I think this may be the closing of LeBron's title window. It's hard. Again, I've been on this all year, all playoffs. Warriors are going to do this in 5 games. It looks like they're going to do it in 4. If this team stays together, maybe LeBron can get Paul George to come to Cleveland. Maybe. But if not, this title window in Cleveland may be closed, and LeBron, Cleveland may be his second home, and he'll come to his home here in Brentwood and play for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think this could be the end, and I think he'd get out of Cleveland with no shame. He took him to 3 straight finals. He won a title. I don't think people will be that upset if he bounces.
No, they couldn't be. You can't be mad you brought a title to a city that has never had one. You came back to do it, and you did it. After people were burning your jerseys and stuff, now they love you again. They hate you, then they love you. Now he brought that back, and he didn't take that personal. But all championship teams that are constructed have that window about 4 or 5 years. And if they don't get it done within there, and that's staying together, that's not saying free agency peels some of those players away. You have that small window, and the window is about 4 years now. So it is closing, and that's how all championship teams are that are constructed for that, in that win-now state of mind. It's closing. I agree with you. It is closing.
And you know what? You won't be offended this time, because I agree with you also. But, well, you're talking about maybe they'll be able to get Paul George to come there. I don't think so. The reason I think the window is closing, number one, you're going to have a difficult time getting a Paul George, getting a Gordon Hayward, getting a Jimmy Butler, anyone to say, I'm going to sign on to go to Cleveland, when it could turn back into the factory of sadness, knowing that LeBron's got 1 year and he can opt out. LeBron may not even be there. So am I truly going to sign a deal to send myself to Cleveland knowing that he may not be there? I don't see anybody really jumping on to that right now. So I think it's going to be a very difficult time.
Where would LeBron go if he left Cleveland?
L.A.
L.A.?
L.A.?
Well, why would
Lonzo Ball, L.A., Paul George.
Why would he leave if he walks to the finals? He was, what, 10-1 to get to 11-1 to get why would he leave to come out to the West, play against the Spurs?
He can't win it there with that group of guys.
So you don't think that, him being GM and obviously president, he wouldn't try to trade Kevin Love or Tristan Thompson, try to get a couple more versatile players and say, hey, let's try one more crack at it?
You know what? He may be GM or president, but he's not owner, and Dan Gilbert is going to get tired of paying that luxury tax and not getting anything on return on it. He's got 1 championship, and he's paying all his money out. I don't see him continuing to do that.
That same luxury tax, the Warriors are going to face that next 1 or 2 years too. Also with their supermax, I think LeBron has a 3-year window to win this championship next 3 years, because he has pieces that he could trade, not for maybe a Paul George, but for 3 or 4 role players like a Crowder, an Avery Bradley, if you want to give up Kevin Love to have a chance. And like you said, hey,
that's not going to beat the Warriors.
You trying to get to Cleveland?
That's not going to beat the Warriors. And the Warriors got a new stadium, a new arena coming up. Right now, out in the Bay, all the money that they're making, right now, the luxury tax is not an issue. In the factory of sadness in Cleveland, if LeBron leaves, it's going to go right back to what it was.
Sure. I don't think he needs any more role players. He needs another guy,
superstar,
that he can depend on to defend, but a two-way player. That's why the Paul George come up or the Jimmy Butler comes up. How can you attract those guys, and how can you get them to come here? I think the one way you can entice them, to get there is LeBron has to say, I'm going to be here. And that's the only way you could get him to sign. If that's up in the air, nobody's coming.
What about this?